What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, and welcome back. Look, before I know this is our first time meeting. I really do. I know it's our first time meeting. But do me a favor real quick. Go ahead, give yourself a round of applause. You probably in your living room, you probably in a bathroom, you probably in your bedroom, but go ahead, give yourself a round of applause. And I ask you to give yourself a round of applause because right now, as we speak, there's somebody driving to a job that they don't want for money that they need. The whole time that they drive and they passions, they dreams, they aspirations live in the backseat of the car. They go to the job, they punch the clock that makes somebody else richer, and then they go home, they lie to their kids. They look their kids in the face, tell them to do things like follow their dreams, whole time that they couldn't. So when I ask you to give yourself a round of applause, I know this is our first time meeting, but go ahead, give yourself a round of applause. Don't give yourself that half-ass round of applause that you've grown accustomed to giving everybody else. Now, just like what I said, my name is Demetrius Thigpen, and I'm the host and the creator of the podcast Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind, a podcast dedicated to helping you become a better version of yourself. And before I begin, I really just want to say that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. But just like you can have more money, just like you can have more time, just like you can just be happier, don't you deserve to be a better version of yourself? And the thing is that I know right now with this pandemic going on that it feels like that version of you, that better version of you has been postponed. Businesses that finally have taken off have to shut down. We can't go to our jobs no more. We can't do this no more. The progress that you have made at the gym has been postponed due to these things that we got going on. So it feels like as if you aren't making any progress. So the thing that I really want you to understand is that adversity hits us all. And one thing that I have learned is that everybody goes through some form of adversity. We all do. And the problem is that, see, we look at adversity as if it's the enemy. But the thing about adversity is that adversity is never the enemy. Adversity was never the enemy. Our mindset was. And if you don't mind, I know this is our first time meeting, but I really just want to tell you a story. See, for those who don't know, I'm a father of three. And the problem with being a father is that I don't know who need to hear this, but these kids that we got now, these can't be the same type of kids our parents raised. My son does whatever he wants. My daughter has a mouth on her and she can outtalk me for the best of us. And my last one, she just free. She does whatever she feels. So when I tell you that I'm just a father that grew up without a father that's just trying to navigate through fatherhood the best that he can, I really am. But on this day in particular, see, my wife, she was working at the correctional office and I had to go pick up the kids. And as we was driving home, my oldest, Dakota, she said, "Dad, can we go to the park?" Just like any other parent, I said, "No." She said, "Dad, can we go to the park?" I said, "No." She said, "Dad, can we go to the park?" I said, "No." She said, Dad, can we go to the park?" I finally caved and said, "Yes." We get to the park. And as we at the park, my kids, they playing, I'm doing the new age parenting thing. I sat there and I text. My oldest, she comes up to me. She says, "Dad, look at me." I look over at her. She's climbing this wall. She gets halfway up there, comes back down, says, "I'm done." I looked at her. I said, "What do you mean?" I asked her, I said, "Dakota, what do you mean? You got halfway up there. Why did you do that?" She said, "I can't no more." I told her to get back up the wall. She climbed halfway up there again, but for some reason came back down, said that I was done. Once again, I looked at her and I said, "Dakota, what do you mean that you're done?" She said, "Dad, I can't. It's too high." I looked at her again and I said, "Dakota, get back up that wall." She climbed halfway up there again, but for some reason came back down. Now my son, he's pulling at my pants leg like, "Dad, look over here." But for some reason, I can't look over there. I got to focus on my daughter right now. I got to focus on this problem that we got going on. I told her, "Get back up the wall again." She got halfway up there, came back down. See, the problem what I was going through right here wasn't just my daughter going up the wall. The problem is this is her first time facing adversity. And we all, like I said, we all face adversity. And adversity is just like a wall. We just have to figure out a way to get over it. But the thing is that we get to our adversity and we look at it and we say to ourselves after the first attempt, after the second attempt, after the third attempt, that this just might not be for me. We say that we have failed. And the thing about failure is that failure, despite popular belief, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. So as we stood there and I told my daughter to get back up that wall, I told you I couldn't see my daughter no more. I saw a little girl sitting at the edge of her bed after she gave 100% and decided that for some reason, that these things didn't work out. Now she wants to quit, give up on her dreams. I told her to get back up that wall because as she gets older, she's going to face these things that are not going to work out in her favor. But the problem is that we revert back to our comfort zone when these things get hard. I told her to get back up the wall. See, I don't know which wall you are currently facing. Maybe it's a relationship that you got going on right now. Maybe it was that new business that you finally got a chance to launch after everyone had told you that you couldn't make it, that this wasn't going to work out. And now that you have finally launched your business, here comes this pandemic that traps us in our houses and says that we can't go back outside, and now your business suffers. Maybe that's your wall. Maybe your wall is you trying to find out who you are. One of the richest places in the world is not within a bank or in a government facility. The richest places in the world is in a graveyard. And the thing about it being in a graveyard is that it was killed. And there's dreams and passions all over the place, but it was killed, murdered by patience, murdered by things of people saying that, oh, you couldn't do it. They didn't believe in you. Murdered because we believed that it was supposed to be in our final form. See, the thing is that when you have these dreams and these aspirations, when they are finally birthed, you think to yourself that this is exactly what it is. But you forget about the process called adversity, the process called you're going to have to spend a couple of nights sleepless, the process where people are not going to believe in you. But because it was never in its final form, you killed it. So that wall that you have to get over, I want you to understand that you're going to face some form of adversity. In fact, this wall that you have to get over, take a look back because you have gotten over so many other walls. See, this is the same type of generation that overcame the recession back in 2009, 2010. Here you stand. This is the same generation that suffered through 10 years, 14 years of war. Here you stand. So right now, as we speak this wall of adversity, whether it be that pandemic, whether it be the relationship, whether it be your business, whether it be you finding yourself, whether it be the gym, I can assure you right now, you're going to be able to get back over that wall. Here you will stand. Adversity is never the problem. Our mindset is. And when you take a step back and look at your mindset, I can tell you right now, I come from Detroit, Michigan. I'm a father of 3. I've been in the United States Marine Corps for almost 10 years. I've met all types of forms of adversity. So when I tell you that you can become a better version of yourself, you truly can become a better version of yourself. And each time that you face that wall, understand that this isn't a success. Yes, you have won the small battle, but the thing is that this isn't a success. Don't get fat off the success. You must continue to keep going. Failure is a checkpoint. It reminds us how far we have came and what we need to work on. Failure is not getting over the wall and then you finally are done. I can assure you that you got a lot more to go. And when we talk about overcoming our adversity, when we talk about overcoming these failures, one thing that I need you to understand is that please don't take time to recharge. And when we say recharge, just like our phones that are right here right now, they use up the battery. They probably were your alarm clock. They're probably your means of entertainment. They're probably music that comes through. They recharge. And when I tell you to recharge your battery, recharge, refocus, and re-tap in. When you re-tap in and when you restart, you get a chance to finally be able to understand what's going on. A lot of times the adversity that's in front of you is trying to teach you something. For every L that you receive, there's a lesson in front of it. And one thing that I need you to understand is that life ain't just going to throw you something that you ain't never had before. Life ain't just going to try to push you out of the situation. Life is trying to teach you a lesson that's going to take you to the point where you need to go. That point may not be today. That point may not be tomorrow. That point might come a year from now, but I can assure you that that lesson that you have learned right now is going to be able to take you there. During this time of quarantine, this is the perfect time for you to finally refocus. This is the perfect time for you to finally figure out what's going on with you. I'm a strong believer that things happen for a reason, on purpose, for purpose. And when I tell you that they happen on purpose, for a purpose, one thing that you need to understand is that you have the opportunity to finally get yourself back together. The problems that you are currently facing at your job, I can assure you right now, you can get yourself back together. The problems that you had going on within your relationship, this is the perfect time right here to finally get over that adversity that was going on within your relationship. Because one thing that we don't realize is that we are gone 10 hours of the day. We go to work. We don't see our spouses. We don't see the people within our lives until it's the end of the day. And by the time that day comes, it's time for dinner. It's time to go to bed. You're wrapping up the day. This is the perfect time right now to finally fix the problems that's going on within your life, to finally know your relationships again, to heal again. This is the perfect time to know about your children. Because just like what I said, you've gone 10 hours of the day. The teachers know more about your child. The babysitter know more about your child. Your parents know more about your child. So your patience that you continue to keep getting lost with your kids, I can assure you is not because your kids are bad. It's just you don't know this child. This is the perfect time to finally ignite that. It's the perfect time to finally figure out what's the best thing for your family. See, we get so caught up in trying to jump back into these day-to-day activities. We get so caught up in trying to succeed and overcome everything within us, but we forget that we're not perfect. And it's kind of crazy that we're not perfect. We think that we're perfect because we survived this entire time through trial and error. That's in the contract. Humans are never supposed to be perfect. We're proficient, yes. We're good at things, yes, but we'll never be perfect. So right then and there, one thing that I need you to understand is that as you move forward, understand that you have to become better with yourself. With each step that you take, understand that you will get better with everything that's going on. The adversity that's in front of you is going to get better as it comes. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left from my ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it.